Have you ever thought, I need to get up early tomorrow, I'm going to get up early tomorrow. I'll start the day with a cold shower and start working by 7 AM. So you set your alarm, you go to bed earlier, and then you wake up at 6, turn off your alarm, and go back to sleep. Or you have a huge essay to write, you have all day free, but it's a real struggle to just start. And instead you do everything but that. You know, you play video games, you hoover the house, you do washing up, even though you could just put that in the dishwasher. You feel like you're being productive, but really, you're just hiding from the essay. And now it's the end of the day, and you're still on 4 words. Shit. But anyway, this leads me on to intention. A thing intended, an aim or plan. You know, you have the intentions to pursue your goals and exercise regularly, but you're just kind of waiting for yourself to act on the intention. But most of the time we'll feel discomfort about the thought of doing the thing, even though we want to have completed the thing. And because it's difficult to do it, we can get distracted with an easier activity. And most of the time, that easier option, the distraction to reaching our potential, is on us all the time. Our phone. For example, when you go on your phone, what are you intending on doing? Is it to respond to one message or read one email and then get back to work? You intend on doing that one thing, but then once you're done, suddenly you're on Instagram. Or for me, it's Twitter. And then your conscious has been distracted for 30 minutes unintentionally. Did you intend on scrolling through 50 pictures of your dream house? Or are your intentions to work so you can own it yourself? You know, there isn't a net positive from using these platforms when they take you away from being intentional with your time. It's harder to do the work when there's an easier, more effortless option. In the back of your mind, you know that the deadline for your dream is forever drawing closer. And by the deadline, I don't mean that it's due in 2 weeks, I mean death. And with it, the death of our unachieved dreams, the ones that we could have maybe accomplished if we had been more intentional with our time. Of course, we need a balance of things in our life, and we need to incorporate time for relationships and relaxing and not just being productive all the time. But the problem arises when we have the intentions, but we don't act upon them. The average lifespan in the UK is 81 years. That's around 4,000 weeks and 29,000 days. We don't have a lot of time. But the longer your intention goes on without action, the more time passes and the harder it becomes to succeed. We are the only ones responsible for our future. We were not born to always live in the comfort zone. But what actually is the comfort zone? So every activity either falls into the comfort zone or outside of the comfort zone. Inside are things like watching TV, having a warm shower. Going for a walk is probably in your comfort zone. It's quite easy to go outside, to walk through a park and to look at the grass and trees blowing in the wind. It's activities where you don't have any mental resistance before doing them. You know, we're not being challenged in any way. Then there are things outside of your comfort zone that have some kind of discomfort or difficulty associated with them. You know, these activities are a lot harder to do than staying in bed or staring at your phone screen. And usually, the harder the task is, the more mental resistance you have before doing it. Although the comfort zone isn't really a good representation of what is good or bad for you. Going for a walk is comfortable, but it's also good for you. Meanwhile, you'll probably feel a lot of mental resistance to jumping out your window instead of using the stairs. That would be very uncomfortable. And it's also a very bad idea. But overall, we don't grow as much as a person when we're inside the comfort zone compared to when we're outside and we're uncomfortable. You know, the further we are outside of the comfort zone, the more uncomfortable we'll be, but the more we'll grow. And the longer you're outside of the comfort zone, the more the comfort zone will expand. So if you're doing something uncomfortable consistently, like trigonometry and maths, eventually it'll become comfortable. The longer you stay in the comfort zone, the more it will shrink. So things that were previously inside your comfort zone might become outside of your comfort zone. For example, the most confident I've ever been in my life was when I moved to university, and that's probably one of the most uncomfortable times of my life. You know, when I first moved there, everything was outside of my comfort zone, going to lectures, meeting new people, but then it became normal and I became comfortable with it. Discomfort felt less intense and it became almost normal, and I experienced less mental resistance before doing things. Another example is when I first joined a gym last year. In context, my comfort zone at the time was very small. You know, it was COVID times, we were all in lockdown, and I was doing university online, so I was just in my room on my PC. You know, I was barely going out really. So there was a huge mental resistance to go in, and even going to the receptionist and asking to buy a gym membership. But of course I forced myself to go, and after a few weeks of consistent gym training, I quit. No, I'm joking. No, the mental resistance subsided and I didn't even think about going, I just went. Therefore, quite quickly, the gym entered my comfort zone. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labour does the body. There are two types of pain we have the choice of. The first one is the pain of action, also known as delayed gratification. So when you do a productive activity, you might feel a slight discomfort to starting. It might feel difficult or a bit boring, such as getting up early. It's cold, it's uncomfortable in the moment in comparison to staying in bed in the comfort and warmth. But by getting up early, it'll equate to longer term happiness because you'll be glad you did what you did. But the more activities we do like this, the higher our self-respect will rise. We'll feel proud of ourselves and we'll experience more long-term happiness. These thoughts that come into our heads that say, oh, we can just do it later. We don't have to work hard today. Let's just lay in bed for another 20 minutes. These thoughts are the enemy that will reveal themselves if we listen. So instead we should ask, what would ourself in 3 hours have wanted us to do with this time that we have now? So the more delayed gratification we commit to, the more momentum we'll build. And this will make other aspects of our life easier. And overall, by taking these actions, we're connecting ourselves to who we want to be. The other option is the pain of inaction. So this is indulging in easy but unproductive activities, such as scrolling Instagram and playing video games. These activities might give you a hit of dopamine or short-term happiness, but overall, it will be short-lived. It won't improve your life, and if you're procrastinating with these activities, you're just going to feel disappointed with yourself in the future. An easy life now equates to a hard life in the future. As the world inevitably moves on, opportunities are lost, untouched relationships fall distant, and the pain appears of knowing that our now could have been different. If only we had experienced just a little bit of discomfort earlier and not chose the path of least resistance. You don't regret the workouts you do, you regret the workouts you didn't do. But the best advice I can give you is to remember your intention with everything you do. I've been trying to incorporate this into my life. We need a reason why. Why do we get out of bed in the morning? Why should we do that hard work when we don't feel like doing it in the moment? So what is your plan? What is your intention? What do you want? And then throughout your day, try to think, is what I'm doing right now helping me in any way? Still make time to do nothing and to spend time with others, but I mean it when you have time where you could be doing something. And by doing this, it should motivate you to do something that is productive to you. What if your intention isn't only to get to where you want to in life? If you imagine that people are watching what you do every day, looking up to you, and there probably are people in your life that look up to you, we need to set a good example for these people and be good influencers. We're not here to do the bare minimum. We have a great opportunity here of life, and we need to make the most of it. It's short, and every decision we make compounds to exactly where we end up in the future, as well as influencing the lives of people who look up to us. So choose wisely and remember your intentions. And if you're not going to watch another Tom in the Sky video, put down that damn phone and go do something that is useful to you. Thank you for watching.